Welcome to FoulPlay YouTube channel, Powder Puff Edition.
Hello. We're going to be talking today about basically the topic of the day is going to be about speculation, but I want to kind of go through the updates first, which is, we're waiting on the response. And what I have done is gone in to find out if there's specific timing that's going to be added on to things like this case as far as current deadlines. And all I could really nail down was no less than 1 week's delay is to be expected. And it could be so much longer than that. And at this point, that's all I could. But in the description will be a link for you to go to that will give you more information on what to expect in cases like this, as far as all the delays with the state and delays in the country overall. And then I want to try to put out there and remind everybody that Foul Play is on social media, and we have Discord, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. All of the links will be in our description for those too. And to get to our topic of speculation, ladies, what is your definition of speculation?
Well, to
Anybody?
me, speculation is some hunches due to previous experiences, some personal experiences, the buzz, and also professional experiences in certain topics. Like this one, what we're speculating about the state's response
Mm-hmm.
um, due to the shenanigans that they have been doing for years and years, decades, should I say. It's easy to think, not to be negative, but to speculate that they can again pull some trick out of their sleeve in order to delay the case. And right now, in the last couple of days, I noticed Jerome Buting tweeted that the state will get 21 days extension due to the coronavirus. So if they were due to reply by March 27th, if you add 21 days, that would bring us to April 17th. So I don't know if that's
That's
for
a
real,
very
if
good
that's concrete.
speculation you got there.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that that's what I saw. So
Yeah.
I think that the new date would be April 17th. Now, did he word it like that's for real happening? Or if that's his speculation in these cases with such um,
I think it's an
extraordinary
accurate,
situation.
I think it's a good speculation that that will probably happen and then some. If they can possibly make it stretch out even further, I'm certain they will.
Oh,
Well,
me
I
too.
think I think speculation also is on a gut feeling too. Sometimes you speculate
Oh,
based
yeah.
on your gut feeling. Now, I did see somebody had a snippet. I did not. I don't think I captured it, but somebody had like text of a ruling that said that the delay for the coronavirus does not include things that already were scheduled with a timetable or something like that. So, in other words, that no, it wouldn't apply to this.
Well, that ought to
Um,
be
Yeah,
interesting to see.
very interesting. But
yeah.
let's
So
not forget
I,
the change they had, with
Oh, yes.
AGG Winters
Yep.
leaving.
right.
So,
Yep. Tiffany Winter removed herself from what is this co-counsel position.
Yeah,
So, and I can't
for the
even be for
state.
sure what that all means. But I can speculate that she's removing herself from this, huh?
yeah.
Uh, but
And we can speculate
Or
why. But
trying to anyway, right?
yeah,
yeah,
I brought speculation up for the simple fact that a lot of the time in our daily function, every thought we have has speculation to it. Um, in order to get to your next thought, there's almost inevitably some speculation going on. But I thought about this case and I looked at the jury, I looked at the evidence, pictures, I looked at documents, and so much is so misaligned and so much looks like it's not real evidence. It's looking to me like this case is more like speculation. The definition is the forming of a theory or conjecture without firm evidence. That's a perfect definition of this case the state brought against Stephen.
Yeah. And Kathleen Zellner, went a little bit further than saying that they were just speculating. She flat out called the whole case, the state's presentation, idiotic. And I
Yeah.
just love that because it is.
She said
Nothing
it was
makes
the
sense.
stupidest case she had ever seen. I think were her
I
words.
know.
Her words were it was gross, extreme, egregious prosecution, conduct.
Yes.
Demonstratively false. Those are some strong words.
Yes.
From a lady that doesn't like to speculate at all. She likes facts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, speculation is a legal basis for objecting to witness testimony on a grounds to the argumentative objection because the evidence is not considered reliable or factual. Estimating is allowed, but most opinions are not. So, in this, and what I'm doing is bringing up the fact that speculation is more than just what we see as speculation. It's a term brought up in a court case when they're actually hashing everything out for the lawyers when they object. So
Yeah.
why
How
wasn't there more of that going on for Stephen's defense?
So if you
yeah.
want to speculate, then you had to be able to make it into an estimation to be able to get away with it.
So
Well, you can have a hypothesis, which is, forming a theory and whatnot. But you can't claim all your speculations or all your fantasies, should I say, Mr. Kratz,
yeah,
to form, such a press conference when you say, now we know what happened. That's more than speculation. That's just like a fantasy. It's idiotic, as
so the case
Zellner said.
against Stephen Avery was pure speculation. If you actually go through every single thing on all of the evidence they used, turned out not to be, there was no proof in any of it for anything. No evidence supports the state's speculative narrative.
Exactly.
Well, and it's pretty
Exactly.
bad when things you did are now being used to teach people what not to do.
Okay, for example, so using Scott Tadich's testimony about the fire uh, and the size of the fire was so questionable. Does it not become a speculation at some point because he did get nailed that what he was claiming that day was actually different from a statement that he had given previously?
Yeah,
So,
that was a good move on the defense because they asked him, don't you think that your memory would be more valuable and accurate at the time when that was happening, when you gave your first statement versus a year later?
this case is also very classic for showing that the state doesn't corroborate or confirm alibis. So if they take someone's alibi and they never check it out, is that not a speculation? Is that not just
And
speculation? Because that is absolutely, there's nothing to go on except for a speculation. They did not confirm it. They didn't corroborate it. They did not check. What is it?
Well, why would they? They wanted a particular individual nailed, and they did it.
When you're
Get
charging
Stephen at
somebody,
all costs.
yeah, when you're
Mm-hmm.
charging somebody with murder and you're going to bring up a witness, don't you want to have confirmed and prove that they actually have an alibi? This person did not.
Not if it won't help them.
But
Yeah, and
that
that's
is
another
another
thing,
point
Stan.
that should have been stressed according to what I feel like the defense should have done. There was another place for them to put more reasonable doubt.
Oh, there was plenty.
Mm-hmm.
There was plenty. And what bothers me is that they actually are they that naive and trusting that they're gonna just take Kratz's word for what he tells them? Oh, nothing to see here. Nothing of evidentiary value.
Well, they're making agreements with them, so why wouldn't they? That's believing and trusting in him to make an agreement. Gentlemen's are otherwise.
Well, I wanted to bring this up because as far as I'm concerned, in everything that I've looked at and everything that I've read, um, my question to the listeners, am I just speculating? Or was the state's case against Stephen pure speculation itself? Because they have this charge, and in the end, no absolute proof of any of it.
Well, I've said for a long time that he didn't get convicted on evidence. He got convicted on perception.
Mm-hmm.
Kratz spun his story somehow that evidently lowered the IQ of everybody in the courtroom. And I'm sorry, the defense dropped the ball.
Absolutely. They
Steven needs to
absolutely
get
did.
his money back from them.
Yeah. Uh huh.
But yeah,
Wouldn't that be interesting? Do you think he could? You think he could get his money back?
I, I don't know.
What
Can
does
you
an
sue a
effectual
lawyer?
counsel mean? Hey,
Yeah,
A
and they
refund?
admitted it was ineffectual. So I don't know.
Well,
That
didn't
would be
they
nice.
kind of admit publicly?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they signed paperwork with Kathleen and everything. Um, I used to give them credit to the fact that I believed at that time when I first started, they didn't realize the evil that they were up against. But now that I know more, oh boy.
Okay. Okay. My thing is this, okay? I'm a layman. I have no degree, and I get that. But I'm really not stupid. And I'm just curious what kind of lawyer is going to go up against the state unprepared in such a way that they're not even willing. If that was me, I would have at every turn and every claim they made, I would have been pounding in reasonable doubt at every single turn. I don't care how many objections come up. I would not
Agreed.
stop until I have objected everything they put before me, period. I mean, not objected, put reasonable doubt
Yeah.
for
How
every
many
single
times
thing.
how many times did the defense kind of have somebody up on the ropes and then they just walked away?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Feuding in
That drove
particular.
me nuts.
Oh
I'm
Drove
my
me
like,
God.
nuts.
what?
They would
Yes.
actually prove a very good point, but they would leave it up in the air.
Yeah,
He didn't like, okay, to summarize,
he didn't
ladies and
slam it
gentlemen of
home.
the jury, exactly.
Yeah,
This is what we are saying. This is what's
yeah,
happening. He would just leave and walk away in a very gentlemanly and light, tiptoe manner back
yeah,
to his. It's like, what are you talking about? Tell him this is what it means.
yeah.
Yeah. Killed me. Yes.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. I gotta give him credit for taking this case on, first of all, because it was a political suicide. Could have been a career suicide because I mean, the buzz in the air, nobody can tell me that they didn't know what was going on. They would be lying. So I understand that part. And we are not lawyers. We have no experience in the courtroom or in the system and stuff. But as you said, as laymen, we can see that it could have been done better. Now we weren't in their shoes, and I want to believe that they did the best that they could. But it's hard to kind of get past certain things. Why didn't they have
Yep.
expert witnesses there to rebut
Yep.
Well,
It's
you're on the
all
their
about
outside
the
statement?
looking
mighty
in.
dollar.
Yeah.
All about the mighty dollar.
Yeah.
They didn't have the money to do this. They didn't have the money to do that.
Well, do
You
it
know
pro
They had
bono,
something?
my
they
goodness.
had a
It's
detective
a tax write
that's
off.
already paid by their office that works for them full time. When Steve came up with those 8 Denny suspects, and he had point one and point two, whatever that is, um, they were there, means and motive, but he didn't have
The opportunity or
the
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 direct connection.
the other thing, the reason why. Um, why didn't his detectives go out and look for a connection between them, a reason why they might have wanted her dead? You know, he's already got the guy on the payroll. You know, that would have
Hmm.
cost them not a penny more to try and shore up his Denny's, at least some of them, to get some of them through.
We know there
Hmm.
was more than one ex. I mean, come on. Um, why on earth did they not question and put to the test the Ms. Eisenberg's testimony? And why did they not put this on the table and question her competence for having testified before that,
Exactly.
something was a fetus that really was not? I would have drove that thing until it was dead. I would have drove that point home that this mistake had been made, and I would not let anyone in that courtroom forget it. And I would have her questioned. I would have her sitting up there questioning her own competence.
Definitely. That's how I believe. And I think same with Sherry Culhane. Go back and see her record and see her reputation, credibility, and bring that up and point it out.
Yep.
What about Ryan? Oh, you can't remember. Oh, you can't recall. Oh, you're not sure. Oh, this and that. And they just left it like that. Why didn't
Oh,
they
you don't
fight
know if it's
for,
day or night.
yeah,
Yeah.
you dropped off some stuff.
Or
Really? What stuff?
what about when pizza was brought to the jury and when
Oh God.
Pagel took them out to dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I
drank with them and
God
probably had
only
his gun
knows
on
what
his
else
side.
was actually said or done.
I would have my brain probably would have exploded everywhere in that courtroom if I was the defense.
Hmm.
And how much of that were they okay with? Honestly, it just,
All of it,
you
evidently,
look
because
at it. Yeah.
it happened.
You look at it and it's mind blowing that so much was allowed and never brought up, never questioned, and smoothed over and accepted as part of this case against their client. I really
Yeah.
was disappointed. I just feel like there's so many places that so much more could have been done to fight the battle of making them, the state,
Hmm.
actually prove that there was a body, that there was loss of life, that their expert was competent.
That she
Um,
left that she stayed on the property, that she
right,
never left. How about that one?
right.
Yeah.
None of that was done.
How about the one put her in the house or the garage?
Yeah.
I would pound on that one till cows came home.
I'm really disgusted with this whole speculation thing. When people are talking about this case, a lot of what helps them when they're going down a rabbit hole, sometimes it's all you have is speculation to jumpstart you in the right direction, to understand part of what's going on in this whole big picture. And so when people are out there and they want to comment when somebody opens their mouth, well, that's just speculation. Guess what? This whole entire case against Stephen Avery, to me, appears to be nothing more than pure speculation.
Hmm. Yeah, that's why they called it circumstantial because they had nothing.
Just remember that. Just keep that in mind. Forming a theory or conjecture without firm evidence. So, in this case, speculation was very seriously allowed, and there was a lot of holes that were not covered. Nobody had Stephen's back.
And if we do it, it's bad, but if the state does it, it's okay.
Well, I'm going to say it. I speculate all the time, and it's part of what got me to the point where I could see through all their bullcrap, and their case is nothing but speculation, and that's it. And they started it all before the case ever started. Before he stepped foot in court, it was already decided.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Steven was a goner. Yeah, he had no
100%
chance.
goner. He had no chance. And then
Yep.
I look at him, by watching Making a Murderer, and I see Steven sitting there and just wondering what is going on in his head. How is he like tuned out by this point? Because there's nothing anybody could have done to save him, to save his skin from this horrible, horrible injustice. And they're talking, oh, he did this and he was sweaty and he raped and cut and murdered and shot 10, 11 times. And then he did this and then he did it. It's like, oh my God. And he's just sitting there like, what are you talking about? He didn't do anything. Now try putting yourself in his shoes. Oh, I would have
Oh,
died. I would have
and
given up. I do not
and the
know if
fact that it's a second time around.
around.
I wanted to ask the state, where is your proof? Where is your proof? Where is your proof that Teresa Hallback was killed anywhere on Stephen's property? Where
There's
is
none.
it? No, there is none.
No.
So,
They couldn't even establish if there was a fire. And it really bothers me that they kept saying, yeah, October 31st, October 31st. Nobody ever called it Halloween night.
right?
Because when you say Halloween night, what does that make you think? It makes you think people all around, kids trick
Satanic.
or treating.
Yep.
And satanic.
Yes, that's
Yes.
another thing, satanic. So they wanted to stay away from that, right?
Well, they
So it
knew
was
nobody would
October
ever buy
31st.
Steve Avery as being
Yeah,
satanic and Brenda Dassey.
yeah, please, please.
They knew
So
nobody would ever buy that. So
To
they,
me, it speaks more to the folks covering up things like their supposed club, because those sorts of organizations or societies, shall we say, prefer to have specific events and rituals on such days as Halloween. So I can't say that's good or bad. I'm just saying, for the sake of saying it, that to me was more about them trying to hide something. I don't think it had to do with Stephen Avery or Teresa Hallback, but I think that they left out the term Halloween on purpose for a very different reason. And
The
Yeah, me too.
closest
that's
they
some
really got
that's
to it is like the talk of uh, Blaine Dassey going trick or treating with his friend's little brothers, and Mike O taking his little brother's trick or treating. That's about as close as they
mhm.
ever got to the
Yep.
word. Still not calling it Halloween
That
though.
is suspect to me. That is suspect to me about deeper
And then what they
connections
did
for
know, they
corruption.
totally suppressed it.
Right.
What they did know, they hid it like no other. And, you know, all we had is what they told us, right?
Yep.
Until ma'am came out. And the dots, trying to connect those dots in the beginning, those dots were like a Grand Canyon size away from each other.
Few and
Now
far
they're
between.
getting, yes, through passionate researchers, we are really connecting dots and they're getting smaller and smaller.
Yep.
Uh, as much as I would like to see Steven and Brandon out, I would really, really like to see what actually happened because I don't think we can even imagine.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah,
And the possibilities are
the
endless.
specular, yes, endless.
Endless. Mhm.
Could have been a freak accident. It could have been really a pre-planned thing. It could have been a sick deal. Well, it was because she was chopped up. It seems like that she was chopped up and burned in a barrel. How awful! How
Right.
awful!
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now for this conversation for today, what I'm going to do is we're going to have a link to the library, and you're going to want to go to FoulPlay site and look up the case evidence photos. They're there, and that will help you if you're really interested to dig a little deeper. Um, I have some examples that I'm going to have put in the description of specific pictures, but dig in. Uh, find whatever interests you in this case to research because there's plenty there. And join our Discord because if you need any more guidance or have any more questions, if we can't answer it, I'm sure we know someone who would be willing to.
Or
Or
Um,
even
if
help
you're
us
just
with your
well,
expertise. Or just
exactly
come
a
yes,
and
new
listen.
point of view, a fresh idea, or if you
abs-
just want to vent
yes,
and scream and cry and kick your feet, please come over. There's a lot of that going on as well. From time to time, we all have taken our turns to
Hey,
express our
when I
frustration.
do that, I get told to take a nap.
What? No, no suppression of
well,
feelings. Get it
I'm
all
guessing
out.
a lot of people have a lot of time now to take their naps. And a nap doesn't hurt once in a while, you know?
Beauty naps are beautiful.
I thought you were going to say beauting
Oh,
naps.
no.
I
Well,
love a good nap.
we almost
Uh,
can't hide the fact that, we're all sitting around kind of dealing with the virus going around and kind of keeping track. And the only mention I want to make of that is that it's really, really important that you don't scoff this off. Do not allow it to set you off in a panic, but learn and know what's going on in your state and find out what the updates are. I'm going to make sure that link is also in the description so that you can go to find out just any recent updates that might help you and yours stay healthy. Um, just, you know, don't live on the
Well,
edge.
and I'm
okay,
got
if you kind of aren't, taking it too serious, oh, it's not as bad as they say. err on the side of caution, anyways.
Definitely.
Yes, please.
No.
Don't lick random things and wash your hands and be a decent human being.
And do not pick
Yeah.
up
Please.
gum if you're a kid. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Uh,
gum off the
Uh,
floor. Yeah.
it doesn't hurt. It better safe than sorry. There's a reason for that saying.
5 second law does not apply now.
There's
Yeah,
no
no,
such thing.
no such a thing. And I want to thank all of our healthcare providers and anyone and everyone who's a caregiver, people who are out there really,
Our
don't have a
grocery store
choice.
workers, our
Oh,
fast
Yes.
yeah.
food workers,
Yes,
our
Truck
yes.
Uber
drivers,
driver, food delivery drivers, our
truck drivers,
truck
they are working
drivers.
hard. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
reminds me, someone shared with me today, BB, a Facebook video, and I'm going to have that description in the link because at the moment that I got it, I kind of needed it. And it's two young men are playing violin, and you're just going to have to click the link to find out the rest. But it was a feel good moment for me.
And then
Excuse me.
hopefully the link's open and works. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's just was we have to have those moments each day where you can find even the slightest little bit of joy in something. And this little video here to me was these young men, people like this, especially these young people in a day like this, sometimes the world is a better place because they're on it and they're alive and they're sharing it with us. And so I wanted to thank you, BB. And we're going to share it with you. So don't forget that link will be in our description. And I cannot, I will not go through a podcast without at least one feel good thing. And because I want to leave everybody with something, just realize that no matter how small it may seem, somebody shared a piece of joy, you know?
I saw something on Twitter the other day. It was the French, Spain versus and England or something like that. The French guy singing off the balcony. Spanish guy is playing a keyboard. The English, somebody was singing, and then all he gets is "Shut the f up."
That's America for you.
Aw.
I'm like,
Oh.
oh man.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness. But
yeah,
these are the efforts of the people in the world, making a difference. They're not wallowing. They're actually making a difference and look. I mean, it gives us a chuckle, you know?
yeah.
So, another feel good thing. So, I just didn't want to leave the the day, the
Leave it heavy.
podcast, yeah,
Yeah, leave
without
it
something.
heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. Cuz all in all, people, we're in this together. We
We
are.
are so in this together.
Yep. And we will prevail. We will
And
prevail.
Neverly still continues to want to stand too close to me. No, I told her yesterday to step back, but
Well, we had to
goodness.
tell y'all no kissing.
Well,
uh,
fine. Be that way, Lily. Be that way.
uh,
So, I want to
Due to
remind
social distancing, if you want to hold hands, you now have to hold them straight out from your shoulders and stay and maintain a 6 feet away.
yeah,
Uh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Love
I
you from
know.
a distance, Neverly. I'm okay with that.
you're so
Hmm.
funny. Well, I think that we have pretty much discussed everything today that we're going to talk
Yeah,
about.
just yeah.
I want to remind everyone, um, don't count the days. Make the days count.
Yes.
Yep.
Stay positive. Stay positive, and we love you all, and we're going to get through this. So have a wonderful day.
I'm
This
sending virtual hugs all around the world.
Me
Yeah,
too.
me too.
Thank
From
you.
the
Yes.
Lily, for you, a specially close one.
Thank you, Maz. I appreciate that very much. So remember, don't count the days, make the days count, and stay positive. This has been a Foul Play production.